What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 28. We have Jairzinho Rozenstruik going against Augustus Sakai. And yeah, first of all, I'm ready to be back. I know a lot of people are ready to be back as well. The chat is already blowing up. So yeah, missed some fights for sure last week. It always sucks when there's no fights, but luckily we have some fights here. And luckily we have 14 fights as well. And honestly, like this is probably not the best card in the world, but I think it's a great card from a betting perspective and also a DraftKings perspective as well with those 14 fights. But yeah, what's up, everybody in the chat? Like I said, the chat is jumping already. If you guys can please hit the like button, that'd be much appreciated. Let's try to get 100 likes by the time we get out of here. That's always a nice goal to have. What's up, JJ Rue? Excited for the breakdown, Brady. Always a clinical outlook into the fight game. Appreciate that. What's up, Sean, in the chat? How you doing? Grateful dude. What's up? We got Uncle Weezy in the chat, the dude behind all the stats. It's Friday. Yep, it's Friday. Let's talk some fights still. All 14 on the card. Yeah. Was not expecting all 14 to stay on, but luckily, yeah, 14 fights. So it's going to be fun. Let's go, Brady. Let's go, Mason Jones for my money. Yeah, we'll talk about it, but definitely really high on Mason Jones this week. I really do need to get it done. Augustus Sakai is quite big. I forgot how big he was. Yeah, that was surprising. We'll talk about that as well. The size difference between Sakai and Rozenstruik was definitely apparent there. Sakai will probably have the height to his advantage. Yes. Oh, yeah. If you saw the weigh-ins, yes. Let's go, Brady. Best wishes and best of luck this week. We loving the early start time this side of the world. Yeah, I'm loving the early start time as well. I really liked how Ponzinibbio looked so far. In his face-off, he looked calm. Good sign there for Ponzinibbio. Bro, you put in work. Appreciate that. We got the general in the chat. Loving the Patreon membership. Yeah, talked to you, Nels, earlier. Glad you're loving it. Yeah, that's my goal, trying to, put as much value out there for a very cheap price. We got Leafs. Sub Brady got a strong feeling that Latifi will put Boser to sleep. Yeah, maybe. We'll talk about that fight as well. Got Melon. We got Melon in the chat. Is Leon the lock of the year? I hope. I think he is. Potentially. 2 cents in the chat. Sub Brady, what's up? 2 cents. Let's go camp for tomorrow. Me as well. Dogs will be barking. Yeah, apparently, man. Lots of dogs that have potential to win. Jessica Andrade made an OnlyFans. Who wants to go halfsies? Man. She's like the last person I expected to make an OnlyFans, but yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that. Maybe somebody else will go halfsies with you. We got Bill in the chat. What's up, Bill? Liking your picks. I'm liking them as well. I'm liking my bets quite a bit as well. Feeling pretty confident. I feel like I approached this card in a very good way. I feel like there's a lot of traps on the card. I feel like I really picked my spots on a card that has 14 fights. And, I'm feeling pretty confident about him. Rozenstruik is not 6'4". No, he's like 6'1", dude. We have Tajik Bey. What's up, Tajik Bey? Goat, never miss your show. You're lucky. Hello. What's up, the Goat? What's up, Spencer? UFC party at Brady's? Potentially. Thanks for the research. Killed a last event. Yeah, had a really good last event. Pretty good betting. And then very good on the picks as well. Hopefully keep it rolling here. But do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio. Go ahead over there, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to be going live tomorrow for the fights. As always, live commentary, live betting, all that great stuff. I do have a show on there every Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Went on there with Uncle Weezy this week. So if you guys have not checked it out, go check it out. Uncle Weezy had some very good insight. And then also looking to potentially add a news show on there as well. Not going to get much into that, but lots of good stuff going on. All right. So with all that out of the way, I say we get into it. Like I said, have a decent amount of action, but I feel like I really, really did pick my spots well. I'm feeling pretty good about all my plays, and I'm ready for the card. All right, so we'll start it off with a fight that, honestly, I hate this fight quite a bit. This fight is extremely tough to call. We have Jordan Levitt going against Claudio Puelas, and I'll start off with this. I have some advice for people out there. 1, do not parlay Jordan Levitt this week, and 2, do not parlay Tom Brees. It's just a recipe for disaster. 2 guys you should not be parlaying, and Levitt's definitely one of them. In this matchup, there's just so many question marks that it's insane. You have Claudio Puelas, who, he's not great. He's not great at all. Both guys are, in my opinion, are not great. I watched some of the Jordan Levitt tape a couple days ago, and I just about puked. I really just about puked. Like, he does not set up his takedowns. He does those, the butt scoots. If he can't get the takedown, he's scooting towards his opponent on his butt. Striking is non-existent, and that's being nice. It's non-existent. But I will say this: when Levitt does get it down to the mat one way or another, he's very good down there. I'll say that. He's a purple belt in BJJ. Puelas is a brown belt. On paper, Puelas is the better grappler, but I do give the grappling advantage to Jordan Levitt. It's a recipe for disaster, laying minus 200 on Jordan Levitt against anybody. And they're trying to build this guy up. They're trying to throw him softballs. They threw him Matt Wyman. He obviously slammed him and knocked him out. And that's kind of giving him hype, I guess. I don't know. I feel like this is a 50-50 fight here. I feel like anything can happen. Puelas has not fought in a couple of years. I feel like he can make improvements here. He looked phenomenal at weigh-ins as well. I don't know. This is the biggest pass on the card. Well, probably second biggest between the Tom Brees fight and this fight. Not doing anything from a betting perspective. But as far as DraftKings goes, I do have some interest because it is the first fight of the night. I do think it'll be somewhat low-owned, and I think it's going to primarily play out on the ground, which is going to score well on DraftKings. So for that reason, I do have some interest on the DraftKings side. But, man, I don't bet this fight. I see people taking shots on Puelas. I guess if you want to take a shot on the dog, but this is just two guys that I want nothing to do with. So, easy fade for me. As far as a pick, I'll go with Levitt because I think he's better on the mat, and I think that's where it's going to play out. But would I be shocked if Levitt, cannot get this fight down to the mat? Puelas outstrikes him? No. Would I be shocked if Puelas gets the better of the grappling exchanges? Maybe a little bit, but probably not. So the pick Levitt, but man, I would never in a million years bet Jordan Levitt, especially at a price tag. What's up, Vince? How you doing? We have the MMA Genie in the chat. Dustin in the chat as well. What's going on, everyone? What's up, Brady? I'm at work, but I'm all ears. Let's win some money. Appreciate that, Dustin, for hanging out. Andrade OnlyFans, what's the content? Teaching how to build a dex or change it? Come on, Jimmy. Come on. Come on. No, actually, somebody posted one of her pictures on Twitter. I forget who did it, but I guess she was in a bathtub. I did not want to see it, but I saw it, so that's that. My under 3.13 and a half fights actually happening on this card ain't looking good right now. No. I think all 14 of them are staying on as of now. We need that fight companion with Fabia Brady. I don't know about that. Genie's interviewing Sahara Eubanks. There you go. Nice. I went to high school with Rosenstruck. Did you really? That's interesting. Did you pick Sakai or Rosenstruck? I'll be picking Sakai. We'll talk about it, though. I think there's an interesting way to approach it from a betting perspective. Maybe Claudio can defend the takedowns and exploit some of the holes in Jordan's game, but I think Jordan grinds him to a decision. Yeah, kind of leaning that way as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if, Puelas did outstrike him. Jordan trains with Gru. Yes, he does. I said that the other day. Non-existent was exactly how I described Jordan striking. Yeah, non-existent, and that's definitely being nice. Body is going to Puel it off. I'd leave it. I like it. Come on. Yeah, we'll definitely see some Jordan Levitt, splits, maybe some cartwheels, maybe some twerks if he does win. Honestly, one of the hardest fights to call. I agree. Limited tape on Levitt, especially the striking. Yeah, you don't see much of the striking, but when you do see it, it's not great at all. And when a 25-year-old takes this long of a layoff, who knows potential improvements? Exactly. I mean, just don't bet on this fight. Yeah, chat's really moving today. That's hilarious. Levitt to do the splits is minus 275. I say it's a parlay piece. You can parlay it maybe with somebody else on the card, like a Mason Jones. Maybe get close to even money there. But I think the twerk is around, minus 150. Some good value there. Gonna be dog or pass here. I'd love to see the moves Levitt brings to the table if he wins. I don't really want to see it, but we'll probably see it. Little appreciation for all the work. Hey, really do appreciate that, Tajik. I've seen you on other chats this week, saying you're the GOAT and stuff. That's hilarious. But yeah, I really do appreciate the donation. I like the odds on Levitt to do split me as well. Can you do a rundown on the picks after I just joined? You're easy. My go-to for UFC picks? Yes, I will, as always. Everyone discrediting the win over Wyman, but his regional competition had a 21-3 combined record. I mean, you kind of discredit a little bit. Wyman's like 40. Are the fights tonight? No, they're tomorrow. You don't want to see it, dude. Come on. You don't want to see it. Friday night, Soka time, possibly. Andrade doing something strange for a piece of change. Yes. All right. But yeah, stay away from this fight on DraftKings. Sure, go for it. I think it does, potentially score well. But you got to be a little crazy to, play this fight, especially, laying the chalk on Jordan Levitt. I think there's A lot more better spots on the card. So we do have a little bit over 100 in here. If you guys can hit the like button, let's get those likes up. Also subscribe if you have not yet. Getting really close to 11K. Maybe hit that by the end of the week. Never thought I'd hear add the twerk as a parlay piece in this stream. Well, yeah, there you go. Something new. All right. So very interesting fight next. Very, very, very interesting fight. Sean Woodson going against Yusuf Zalal. And it's interesting. I mean, you listen to people out there and everybody agrees that the line's off, but not many people pulling the trigger on Zalal. I don't know many people, if any, pulling the trigger on Woodson. And I'm one of those people that do think the line is off as well. And actually have a bet on this fight. I took the shot on Yusuf Zalal. I bet it like 2 weeks ago at this point. I got him at plus 188. And I have 1 unit on it. First of all, I missed out on the plus 200, which was crazy in its own right. But yeah, plus 188, I just think that's off. I think it's off, and there's a lot of question marks in this fight as well. You have Zalal, who, is very low volume, but his striking defense is really good. He does a lot of running around, dancing around, which I do not like to see. But I think something interesting in this fight is going to be the ground game of Zalal. He is a brown belt in BJJ, and his wrestling's pretty solid. He was able to take down Lingo 6 times. He was able to take down Choi, who I think has very underrated takedown defense 3 times as well. And Woodson on paper, his takedown defense is really good, like 77%, 78%. But that was mostly because he defended like 12 or 13 takedowns from Kyle Bochniak, which I don't believe is in the UFC anymore. If he is, probably not going to be in the UFC much longer. But anyway, if Zalal can get this fight down to the mat, I think he has like a very, very significant advantage. And although I do know that it's going to be tough to get it there, if he does get it there, I just don't like what I see from Woodson on the mat. I've seen his back taken, kind of a fish out of water. I'm assuming he's making improvements and all that. But if he does get taken down by the brown belt and Zalal, I think Zalal can get some top control, maybe a submission. Although I will say that if you can't submit Slippery Pete Barrett, you're probably not going to submit anybody in the UFC. But still, I think that this fight's going to be very, very close. I think the takedowns are something to very consider. And I think, honestly, it should be a pick'em. It really should. So I don't get the line, especially at plus 188. I got to take that shot. I think the striking, obviously you favor Woodson. He's the much bigger fighter. He has that reach as well. He's going to be the better striker as well. But I don't think it's like a complete wash on the feet by any means. And I think just that ground game is going to be the big difference in this fight. So I'll take Zalal as a pick. I'll take Zalal at that plus 188, even where it's at now. I don't know if I'd take it at plus 150. But yeah, I think it's a solid spot here. It's a solid dog spot. I honestly thought this line would come down, quite a bit more. I thought this would probably close as a pick'em. Did not really happen, but some money did come in on Zalal. But I'll take Zalal. As far as DraftKings goes, I have some interest in the Zalal side as well. I think, possible takedowns, control time. Don't really see a finish, but 7,400 is pretty cheap there. As far as Woodson, probably not going to play much, if any. He's not going to go for takedowns, not going to get control time. I'm not going to get a finish, more than likely as well. So if anything on DraftKings, it's going to be Zalal for me. But yeah, I'm gonna play the plus 188 there. All right, let's see what we got here. Brady, my man, plus 188 for Zalal for me too. People are jealous of our line. I don't know if they're jealous. I'm sure people got. I'm jealous of the people that got plus 200, like plus 200. That's a very, very nice line in a fight that I really do think's 50-50. Close fight setting with Woodson because of the size advantage. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. The size advantage is apparent. It's just I think that Zalal has a significant advantage if it does hit the ground, and I kind of do think it does. Zalal has a ton of takedowns in the UFC. Zalal and Sakai best underdogs on the card, but I got the sniper. Yeah, I think Zalal's one of the better underdogs as well. Jimmy likes Zalal. Brady, what is the all-in pick? We'll talk about it pretty soon here. Yeah, Zalal cannot finish anything. Zalal money. What's up, Chris? How you doing? Sakayev is a very good dog if he does not go to sleep. Very true. Phoenix has very intriguing fight. Surprised they even matched them up, considering they both need a win here, and they're both young prospects in a way. Yeah. There's a lot of hype on Zalal. People like the fighters that really are, active, fight ever so often. Zalal was taking a lot of short notice opportunities. This is actually a fight where he's had a full camp. So I'm interested to see, we probably get the best Zalal here. Do you think Zalal can score well on DraftKings? I think he can score okay. I don't think he's going to, have a crazy scaling or nothing like that, but I do think he can score well. I don't know if it's going to be the optimal, but I do think at 7,400, he can, definitely hit value there. I still think Woodson probably wins this fight, but at plus 188 for a well-rounded fighter like Zalal against the one-dimensional Woodson is serious value. I bet 1 unit on it exactly. Tons of value there at plus 188. Zalal by decision probably doesn't even finish Ramadan. Yeah, he can't finish anything, man. Zalal can win without takedowns too. Just keep Woodson fighting from his back foot. Constant smart forward pressure. Yeah, like people are sleeping on Zalal striking a little bit, but you do got to favor Woodson. I don't know a single soul who got plus 200. Everyone I know waits till fight week to bet, so they didn't get close to plus 188, let alone plus 200. Yeah, Brady, let's go. Let's go 2 cents. Bro, I need to buy a new fridge. Can you tell me something which it's very highly possible on Zalal? I agree with you. Bro, I need to buy a new fridge. Can you tell me which is... Oh, you need to make some money for a new fridge? Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get you my favorite play of the card in a second. Uncle Brady, that's new. Giving Lipski's previous submission. How does Lipski buy submission? Plus 1100 sound. It sounds pretty bad to me, to be honest. She submitted a can. Plus 1,800. Let's see here. Dusko was knocked out by Panera Serrano. Greg has 2 knockouts in a row. Something to think about. We'll talk about that. 100% Zalal. Yeah, sorry. No need help with the fridge. I like it. Vegas opening line was plus 160 Zalal, minus 190 Woodson. It's pretty much unchanged. Yeah, it all depends on the book. FanDuel Sportsbook opened it up plus 188. And, some other books open it up plus 200 as well. All right, so we'll get to the next fight here. We have Manon Fiorot going against Tabitha Ricci. And, short notice replacement for Marina Moroz. And as you guys know, I was, pretty confident on Manon Fiorot in that fight. And it just sucks. It's a lose-lose situation for Manon Fiorot. If she loses this fight, it's going to be, she got beat by a bum. If she wins this fight, it's going to be, she beat a bum, so what? So it's just a lose-lose situation. I really wanted to see the step up in competition going against Marina Moroz. But as far as this fight goes, we have Manon Fiorot, who's going to be the biggest favorite on the card, minus 570. Actually seen her at like minus 650 on some books as well. Was actually planning on playing her in some type of fashion, whether it was inside the distance or a knockout prop. But seeing the inside the distance minus 150, seeing the knockout at minus 135, I'm just going to pass here. At the end of the day, this is women's MMA. Fiorot has not faced the best level of competition by any means. Ricci has fought some of the worst competition I've ever seen in my life, but still, when I watched the tape on Ricci, she did not look terrible. I think she has a really good skill set. I think she can have success in the UFC potentially, but not at 125 pounds. And this is where that fight's at. Fiorot is going to be much, much, much bigger. If you guys saw the weigh-ins especially, I think Fiorot is going to be stronger. I think she has a striking advantage by a mile. And although I don't love the line at minus 570, I do think it's probably correct. I just don't think there's much value in that, even in like a parlay piece. So I'm not going to parlay her. In my Hail Mary, yeah, I'll throw in there. But as far as like an official play, I just don't want to get involved. At the end of the day, like I said, it's women's MMA. We've seen crazier things happen. Ricci is a black belt in BJJ. She's a black belt in Judo, I believe, as well. And she's not terrible. So I'll take Fiorot. I'm gonna, get my exposure on the DraftKings side of things. 8,500 for a fighter that's minus 600 for a fighter that's minus 150. The best inside the distance line. You got to play her. You got to play a ton of her. I'll have a ton as well. I'm thinking like 75, 80% on the Fiorot side in DraftKings. As far as Ricci, maybe a couple lineups if anything. But I really do like Fiorot on DraftKings. It just sucks. I wanted to see the Moroz fight. But as far as a bet, I mean, I just think it's probably passing here is the best thing to do. Ricci is looking hot. Yep. Yeah, she's not bad. If we're picking on looks here, yeah, Ricci is probably like minus 300, minus 400, but we're picking off of the fight and how it goes. Ricci was looking fine. Yeah. Gonna watch from the beginning. Hollis sounds good, Chris. Marina Moroz canceled her last 3 fights. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. And what upsets me is like she's posting like OnlyFans pictures, a couple hours after she pulls out. Like, what's going on? Hey, Brady, good to be here. How have you been? Ricci seems like a cute replacement. Everybody's talking about my goodness, thick and tasty. Goodness. Everybody's talking about the looks of Ricci, but yeah. Hit the opener on Fiorot minus 120. Nothing wrong with that, Phoenix. Really confident in this one. As Fiorot is a finisher herself, and Ricci looks very suspect on the feet. I agree. Massive size discrepancy as well. On short notice, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. I think it probably does hit. It's just not something I really want to get involved in. At the end of the day, it's women's MMA. It could be like a very dominant decision as well, but I do think she does finish this fight. I'd expect nothing less than a finish from her in this spot. What's up, Justin? Just getting here. Anything glaring or important from weigh-ins? I appreciate the professionalism as always. Appreciate that, Justin. Not really. I mean, there's a lot of size discrepancy with the face-off. Sakai was much, much bigger. Of course, Boser was bigger than Latifi. Woodson was much, much bigger as well, but nothing really stuck out as far as, somebody having a bad weight cut or something. Yep, going to play a lot of her as well. Sorry for coming in late. I think Fiorot probably got this one. I agree with you. I'm stacking Fiorot in all my lineups. Not going 100%, but I'll definitely be like 75, 80%. She's going to have a ton of exposure on my part. All right. So we'll get into the next fight here. We have Mason Jones going against Alan Patrick. And we have Mason Jones open up minus 290. And then currently like around minus 290 as well. On FanDuel Sportsbook, he opened up at minus 245. And I jumped on it. Pretty hard. And this is going to be my biggest play of the year. So hopefully it does hit. I have 3.5 units on Mason Jones, minus 245. Like I said, my biggest play of the year. So really hoping Mason Jones does get it done. I'll be honest, I was really close to just max betting it. Have not had a max bet this year. And I was, so close to max betting Mason Jones in this spot. But he can be taken down. And that's the one concern I have. But with that said, when he does get taken down, he's very, very good at getting right back up. He's a black belt in BJJ. He was taken down 3 times in his UFC debut against Mike Davis. And I've seen him taken down on the regional scene a couple times, but he's really, really hard to hold down. And that's what I think is going to win in the fight here. Like on the feet, it's night and day. It's Mason Jones all day, and it's not even close. We've seen Mason Jones against Mike Davis land some very, very hard shots. And I'd be absolutely shocked if Patrick can take those same shots. Patrick, 37 years old, going on 38. He has not looked good. He has not looked good in his last 2 fights. He has not looked good since like 2017, 2018. It's been a while. I think his last win, if I'm not mistaken, was against Damir Hadzovic, who has, some of the worst takedown defense and some of the worst, ground game you ever see. But against Scott Holtzman, he looked horrible. Against Bobby Green, he looked horrible. I was shocked to see Bobby Green even took him down like 4 or 5 times. So pretty clear Mason Jones. I don't know anybody out there, picking Alan Patrick here. But yeah, really counting on Mason Jones to get it done. If you like, Mason Jones as a parlay piece, go for it. He's one of my more confident parlay pieces on the card. He'll be on my Hail Mary. I have that 3.5 unit bet, and then I'll have, quite a bit of exposure on Draftkings as well. I just would be shocked if, Mason Jones does not knock him out at some point, because Patrick nowadays, everything that's landing is rocking him, is wobbling him nowadays. And Mason Jones can crack. He's a finisher himself. So hopefully Mason Jones does get it done. Yeah, the 3.5 unit bet. I mean, if I really need Mason Jones to get it done here. I know he's young. There are some holes in his game. The holes being, terrible striking defense. He's hittable, very tough. But I don't think we'll have to worry about, the striking defense or being hittable in this very matchup. Potentially down the line, maybe we can look to potentially fade this guy. But, stylistically, this just seems like a good matchup. Great get-up game. He's training at a good camp as well. Give me Mason Jones here. All right. Locker room, Mills. What's up, Millie? Jones, minus 280. Yeah, I like it. Good line there. Hard to imagine Jones doesn't get this win here. Minus 245 is a solid spot. Best of luck. Yeah, I really did like that line. Like I said, so close to max betting it, but I don't know. I think the 3.5 is the way to go. Anyone seen how big Rodrigues looked over Dusko? He looked huge. We'll talk about that soon. We'll talk about all that stuff. Baeza is a lock. I don't know about that. Ponzinibbio looked shocked last bout. Maybe the layoff. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Mason Jones by first or second round KO. Yeah, I agree. I'd be shocked if this went to decision. If Mason loses, he should be cut. I don't know about that, but I don't know. I don't think he loses. Patrick is Claudio Silva with no submissions and less power. Hey, yeah, it's actually a really good comparison. I'd say KO. I'd be shocked if he didn't knock out Patrick here. Patrick has been finished in 2 of his 3 losses. The one decision loss was against Bobby Green, who's not a finisher. What's up, Jeremy? Hit the like button. Thanks, Brady, for the info. No problem. Appreciate that, Jeremy. Probably Mason inside the distance, maybe second. Yeah, inside the distance is minus 110 on some books. I saw like plus 110 as well. It's a good play, I think. All right, yeah. So really counting on Mason Jones here. Excuse me. All right, so yeah, next fight is potentially, probably one of the worst, if not the worst fight on the card, in my opinion. I just feel like this fight's going to be so boring. 2 guys I'm not going to get into the striking numbers and the output and all that, but two guys that are very low output, two guys that are definitely getting up there in age, especially on the Trinaldo side. He's 42 years old, about to be 43. Salikhov, he's 36 years old himself, and I just feel like this fight's going to go. It's going to go to decision. Nobody's going to do anything. I don't know who's going to get their hand raised. I'm going to slightly lean Salikhov, the younger fighter. He's going to have the flashier strikes, maybe a little bit more volume, but still, this is going to be very close. I see Trinaldo is, one of the public dogs out there. I see a lot of people taking a shot on him. I honestly don't hate it. I think the line, it's probably off. I just don't want anything to do with this fight. I don't want anything to do with 42-year-old Trinaldo, but if we're taking the dog shot, best of luck to you. I'd rather be betting the plus 190 than the minus 250 on Salikhov. That's just kind of crazy to me, but I will take Salikhov as far as the pick goes. But there was a bet that really did stick out to me. And, shout out to FanDuel Sportsbook, one of the best sports books, probably the best sports book out there. They had the Trinaldo versus Salikhov fight goes to decision at plus 142. Plus 142. On other books, it was like minus 130, minus 140. So, first of all, I do think this goes to decision, first of all. Or second of all, I think, there's very low output. Trinaldo, and he's 42 years old, about to be 43. Like 35, 36 fights. The dude's never been knocked out. Salikhov never been knocked out as well. Both of Salikhov's losses are by submission. Trinaldo does not have a submission since like 2013. So I think it's safe to say like both guys are durable. Both guys are tough, low volume. I think there's a good chance it does go to decision. So I did take the 1 unit shot on the plus 142. Fight goes to decision. I didn't want to go crazy on it because I didn't want to get too exposed to this fight, but I really did think that line was off. So I really do like that shot there, plus 142. I'm not sure if FanDuel Sportsbook still has that out. Not sure if it changed. I have not looked, but if you can still get it at like plus money, I think it's a really, really good spot there. So check that out. I need to have FanDuel Sportsbook sponsor me or something because I shout them out like pretty much every week. But I'll take Salikhov, I guess. As far as DraftKings, probably crossing it off. If anything, I guess Trinaldo just because of the price, but still, I don't really see him doing much. Mason's going to slump in the first round. I sure hope so. Can we fade this fight match? Can't trust Boser or Latifi. Yes, we'll fade that one as well. But we're talking about Salikhov. B, what's up, B? Thanks for your insight. Truly appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out and watching. Is Trinaldo Salikhov fight the easiest fade as a whole on DK? I'd say personally, yeah. Trinaldo looked amazing on the scales. Yes, he did. He looked phenomenal. He really did. Plus 1.5 here, easy parlay pick right. I'd say so. Hey, what parlays you going for this week? I wasn't gonna do a parlay, but there is a parlay I'll throw out in a little bit. Something I really do like. It's coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, decision. I feel like Trinaldo's a zombie. Yeah, the dude has a chin. The dude has an absolute chin. Fight goes to decision already minus 132. So you destroyed that line movement, brother. There you go. Yeah, beating line movement definitely feels good. Was not planning on betting the fight, but if you see something, if you see a line that you feel is off, got to go for it. Plus 142. What's up, Sosa in the chat? How you doing, Sosa? Salikhov by decision. Yeah, it could be. I could see either guy winning by decision. Somebody did point out on Twitter, Trinaldo by decision, which was a really interesting line. I don't know if it got hit or not. Yeah, plus 385 for Trinaldo by decision. Not horrible. But yeah, ultimately, this fight's probably going to suck, to be honest. All right, speaking of fights that are going to suck, Tanner Boser going against Ilir Latifi. This is another spot where everybody agrees that, yeah, this line's off. I don't know anybody that's betting Tanner Boser, but I don't know much people that are betting Latifi as well. And I'm going with Latifi. I do think that he can get takedowns here, and I have seen Boser taken down, not in the UFC, but prior to the UFC. And the dude's just a fish out of water on the mat. Once he gets taken down, he can knock it up. He can be held against the cage. He's a small heavyweight. He did gain a little bit of weight. I think he weighed in around like 240, something around there. But Latifi, obviously a small heavyweight, but the dude's jacked. The dude's, bricked up. And I do think he's very strong. I do think he can get this fight down to the mat. It's just the cardio is a problem. The output's a problem. And this is the fight I want nothing to do with from either side. As far as DraftKings goes, Boser 8,900 is probably the easiest fade on the entire slate. It's between him and Salikhov, but Boser, he's not a finisher. Yeah, he finished Pessoa. Yeah, he finished Philippe Lins, both guys that should not be in the UFC. Latifi, Derek Lewis couldn't finish him. I'd be kind of shocked if Boser did, but Latifi has been knocked out before. Yeah, I mean, I think Latifi wins, but do I want to lay my money on him? No, I do not. I just want nothing to do with this fight. As far as DraftKings, I'll play some Latifi for sure. I think if he wins, it's based off of takedowns, control time. But even then, like, does he score well with landing nothing? I'm not sure. But maybe he does, make a little bit better of account for himself. Second fight at heavyweight. He didn't do terrible against Derek Lewis. I actually thought he won that fight. And I had a pretty big bet on Derek Lewis as well. So I'll take Latifi as far as a pick. Plus 150, no thank you. Opened up plus 195. I'd be more tempted to play the bet around there. But if you're on Latifi, good luck. If you're on Boser, good luck as well. I just don't really see many people, if any, on Tanner Boser this week. Brady Muller, Tybura, feeling good about this one. We'll talk about that soon. Boser 8.9K. Yeah, it's probably the easiest fade on the entire card. What's up, Herb Clean? What's Glock and Brady brother? What's up, Herb? Heavyweight fights are crap. Yeah, they're not great this week. Latifi can give Boser more problems than Arlovsky. If he does, come out here with a good game plan, which I do think he does. I do think he gets his fight down to the mat. And just seeing Boser look terrible off his back, I mean, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people taking, picking Boser, but I think Latifi is really, really live here. Shout out to Jeffy. Shout out Jeffy, and I think Latifi is going to be too much for Boser. He could be. FanDuel Sportsbook is miles ahead of DraftKings when it comes to MMA. Not even close. Yeah, Sportsbook of FanDuel is the way to go. Latifi by decision or straight. Yeah, Latifi by decision earlier in the week was like plus 500, something like that. Something crazy like that. But he's plus money. Might as well just play him straight. Got one unit on the over 2.5 here, minus 138. Boser is very durable and doesn't have much power. Only potential finish could be a Latifi sub. But I feel if he gets him down, he'll play it safe. Line is short, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I like that as well. I just want nothing to do with this fight. There'll be a bunch of bathroom breaks on this card. Yeah, 100%. There's some fights I really, really don't want to watch, to be honest, but I'll watch them. Salikhov, Trinaldo shouldn't be great. Boser, Latifi won't be great. Levitt, Poilos. I mean, it's interesting, but a fight I really don't, care about too much. 1 second. Man, it's cold in here. Carlos says, don't bet heavyweights. I actually have, betting 2 of the heavyweight fights, but yeah, not this one. If I was to bet, it would probably be Latifi, but I don't want to get myself involved. I want to keep it, I want to really pick my spots this card. And Latifi, I think he probably wins, but I don't know. If I was picking Latifi, yes, I'd go with the decision. Been pretty disappointed in Boser since our Arlovsky fight. I think I'm a big Boser guy, but I think he's getting a little bit overrated. I think he's getting a little bit overrated by knocking out that bum Philippe Lins and that Pessoa as well. Thinking of parlaying Mana Fiorot with Mason Jones, Leon Edwards, and Izzy. Thoughts? I would not parlay Adesanya. I think the other 3 are okay. Honestly, I wouldn't even parlay Fiorot, but it's probably a decent price. If you like it, go for it. Really looking to the Baeza fight. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one. Are you always drinking beer? No, I'm just drinking some water. All right, so about 175 in here. If you guys can hit the like button, let's try to get 100 likes by the time we get out of here. I don't think we hit it last week, so let's try to hit it this week. Not the best card in the world, but we have 14 fights. Can't complain. And then, of course, next week we have UFC 263, which that card is an absolute banger. That card makes this card look horrible. It makes it look awful. I was able to already dig into about half of the fights for next week. I have 1 bet so far, but I'm about to place 2 more bets pretty soon. Not much sticks out from a betting perspective, but probably gonna have another really big play for next week as well. And the card's phenomenal. The card's great. So we got here. Hello, man. I found your live accidentally. There you go. Regarding the main event, I think Jairzinho is more skillful than Sakai and wins by decision. You think Jairzinho wins by decision? Interesting. I think that's the least likely outcome in my opinion. And sorry to say that, I don't see none of both as a future heavyweight champ. Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't back Jairzinho in decision personally. Yeah, I think it has to be by knockout. 2 and news next week. Let's go. Maybe. For betting, I had chosen Rosa over Fiorot. Rosa probably might and finish. I don't like Rosa's price though. We'll talk about Rosa soon. Thoughts on Jamal Hill next week? Yeah, I looked into that one. I thought I was going to be parlaying Jamal Hill, but I'm not going to be parlaying. I picked him to win, but I'm going to be looking at it in a different aspect, maybe like an under bet. But yeah, I'm not going to be placing the minus 265, minus 300 on Jamal Hill. I will say he wins though. All right, here we go. Montana De La Rosa going against Ariana Lipski. De La Rosa open at minus 170, currently minus 265, and this is going to be another play for me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it is women's MMA, but stylistically, this is a phenomenal matchup for De La Rosa. You take a look at the Tapology predictions. I'll go over them tomorrow on my live stream tomorrow before the card. But you take a look at it, it's like Lipski's like 65% picked, De La Rosa's like 35% picked, and that just proves to me that people are probably picking based off of looks, because you look into the matchup and there's a glaring hole in Lipski's game, and that's the takedown defense. And then the ground game's even worse. We saw Molly McCann, the boxer, take down Lipski. And what really did it for me is going to be, Lipski getting taken down by Antonina Shevchenko, the striker, and Antonina Shevchenko looking like Valentina out there and just dominating Lipski and ultimately finishing her. And, that shocked me. And I think what it did, it really overrated Antonina Shevchenko going into the Lee fight. And we saw Antonina Shevchenko be like, minus 200 against Andrea Lee. Which was crazy in its own right. But, De La Rosa, people don't like her. People think she sucks. Yeah, she's hittable. Yeah, her striking's not great, but she is working on that. You can clearly see improvements in the striking game. But luckily, this is an MMA fight. It's not going to be primarily played on the feet. De La Rosa, very good wrestler, wrestling background, wrestled in high school, brown belt in BJJ, great grappler, has finished 75% of her wins. I think it's like 9 out of her 12 wins have came by submission. I think I hate to say it, but I think she makes it look pretty easy here. I know it's hard to be confident in Montana De La Rosa. I know it's hard to be confident in women's MMA, but I really do think Montana De La Rosa does get it done here. And yeah, it's a shame. I saw De La Rosa minus 167. I think it was either the FanDuel or DraftKings Sportsbook a couple weeks ago. I was not able to look into it. When I finally looked into it and all that, she was minus 200 and ultimately pulled the trigger here. Like, honestly, I think she should be minus 300. I know people are saying the line's off and all that. But if you look into the matchup, the line really isn't off. Like, I really do think she can be minus 300 in this fight. I mean, unless she comes out here, forgets how to wrestle, pulls a Felicia Spencer, forgets how to fight, then yeah, it could be close. It could be close. But you got to think that she does go for takedowns as she does in all her fights. So give me De La Rosa minus 200. I have a 2-unit bet on her. And ultimately, a lot of my night is riding on these straight bets. De La Rosa 2 units and then Mason Jones 3.5 units. If both those fighters can win, it's going to be a good night. But really, really do need both of them to get it done. I do think they can. I know Clint from the Dired MMA podcast talked to him earlier in the week. He has the De La Rosa Mason Jones parlay. I think he got it at plus money as well, which, shout out to him. That's a great line there. But if you want to do that parlay, I think it's fine. Jones, De La Rosa, I think it's fine. I know it's scary. It's scary, parlaying De La Rosa, but you got to look into the matchup, and I think she rolls here. I think she rolls. I think she gets a submission more than likely, maybe a TKO. But just seeing Lipski on the mat, like, she's really, really not great. Not great at all. As far as DraftKings, like, honestly, like, De La Rosa is probably my favorite DraftKings play on the slate because she's going to be going for takedown. She's going to be getting control time. She's going to be landing strikes. She's going to be doing things, and she's going to score quite a bit. So I like De La Rosa quite a bit on the DraftKings side as well. Boser giving Latifi KO loss number 5. That'd be impressive by Boser. I don't think Boser's much of a power puncher. I got locked parlay on Jordan Levitt and Mason Jones. I wouldn't parlay Levitt myself, but I am picking him. But good luck to you there. Can I put my house on Jones and Fiorot parlay? I would not put your house on it. No, but you can bet it. I think it's fine. People are smashing Lipski, and I don't get it. I don't know if it's like a looks thing or people think De La Rosa sucks or something. I don't know what it is, but if you honestly look into the matchup, I just don't see how you can pick Lipski in any type of way here. I don't see it. Antonina Nurmagomedov was a bad look. Yeah, it's not great at all. And I think that De La Rosa would absolutely demolish Antonina Shevchenko. I think she would make it look very easy. De La Rosa inside the distance plus 275 is the play here. I like it. If Baby Chef can finish Lipski, I find it hard. Montana doesn't find a finish in this fight with the amount of control time she will have. I agree. The submission prop, I was going to take a shot on that, but I didn't like the price. I was thinking it would be like plus 500, maybe get a good price on it, but it was like plus 3 something. But yeah, might as well take the inside. She's a baddie, but she's losing this one. Montana low-key pretty big too. Yeah, I think she gets it done. Oh, I don't glaring hole and Lipski are two phrases I have in my Google search history. Wow. Anyway, apparently Colby submitted Ariana too. Potentially. Walt Harris will talk about him. This has Blades written all over it. Doesn't even shoot a takedown. Yeah, if she forgets how to wrestle like Blades did, like Felicia Spencer did, then yeah, it could be closer than the line indicates. What are you saying about my boy Woodson versus Lau? If he doesn't get gassed out, he probably pieces him up. I think Zalal gets it down to the mat. Didn't Levitt do the dirty dancing celebration in his last fight? Yeah, he did. Believe he did a split, potentially a twerk here and there, but yeah. Rosa all day on DK. Lipski is kind of hot, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, if that's all she has going for her in this fight, then I don't know how anybody can pick Lipski. Rosa by decision is like plus 115, I think. Last time I saw, yeah, plus 115. Which, I don't know. I think she can finish her. All right, but about 200 people in the chat. If we can get those likes up, that'd be much, much appreciated. I'm going to be going live tomorrow, 1 hour prior to when the prelims start. I believe the prelims start at 4, so going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Just, basically talking it with you guys. I'm going to be going over final bets. There's going to be one bet that I potentially might add, which we'll talk about, but we'll go over Tapology, predictions and stuff, kind of make fun of people picking Lipski and stuff, all that fun stuff. All right. What's up, Scott? Only 84 likes, but 200 watching. Hit the like button. Like I am this Rose and Dab. Good luck, Brady. Appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, let's get those likes up to at least 100. 100 would be nice. And is there any chance of Montana getting a TKO? Potentially. She has 0 TKOs, KOs on her record. I lean more towards the sub. I say we all get on Levitt and twerk with him when we win our opener lock. I mean, Luke, you can twerk with him all you want. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, we'll definitely see a twerk if he does win. All right, so let's see what time we're at. 43, not terrible. I want to keep it like around an hour 15. I know it's 14 fights. All right, so moving up here, we have a Makwan Amarikani versus Kirk. And yeah, so Kirk is apparently the public dog of the week. Man, I see everybody taking a shot on Kirk, which is interesting. So Makwan 9,400 on DraftKings, Kirk 6,800. Amarikani opened at minus 305, currently minus 180. So I think Kirk and Amarikani, the biggest movers on the entire card. It seems like everybody's picking Kirk A, and then B betting Kirk as well. And honestly, like if this line keeps coming down, I might just take a shot on Makwan here. I think people are really, I don't know, like sleeping on Makwan Amarikani. I know it's crazy to say that because he opened up at minus 305, but man, minus 180 now, it just doesn't make sense. Like Makwan, he's fought, the much better competition by an absolute mile. He has a good skill set. Yes, he does slow down as the fight goes on, but very good wrestler. He's gonna have a massive wrestling advantage, and very good grappler. He's gonna have a massive grappling advantage. And yes, I say a massive grappling advantage. Kirk has a black belt, but we have seen black belts get submitted, more times than not. I mean, Rodolfo Vieira, just because you're a black belt doesn't mean you cannot be submitted. And I think that Amarikani, has a really good chance of finishing him early. I just think there's a apparent skill gap between the two. Yes, their skill sets are very similar, but man, I think Amarikani is the much better fighter here. So yeah, I don't want to bet this fight, but if Amarikani gets like minus 150, I'm going to be, forced to play this fight. Amarikani, you take a look at him and, his UFC career, he has 7 or 8 fights. You take a look at his losses. Edson Barbosa, okay? Edson Barbosa would destroy Kirk in a round. Shane Burgos, all right? Shane Burgos would probably, finish Kirk in 2 rounds. And then Arnold Allen would probably finish Kirk in, I'll say 2 rounds. So he's losing to some very good guys. Barbosa, Burgos, Arnold Allen. Like, I don't know. I just think there's an apparent skill. There's a, apparent level of competition thing going here. and I think Mac 1 does get it done in the first couple rounds. It's not impossible to submit a black belt, and honestly, I'm not all that impressed with Kirk's grappling ability. I think Amarkani is the better grappler, so give me Amarkani. I'll play some Amarkani on DraftKings because of his skill set. He's going to get this fight down to the mat early and often, and I do think he has a grappling advantage, possible submission upside. As far as Kirk, probably not going to get there. If you want to play some of them, that's fine. 6 to 800. Maybe he can outlast Amarkani, who has slowed down in the past, but I'll take Amarkani here. But yeah, everybody's on Kirk, and the line's like closing big time, which is interesting. All right, what's up, Dom? How you doing? Jason says, my boy, Mr. Finland. Baeza wins. Yeah, I'm going Baeza. We'll talk about it more in a little bit. Regardless how the fight goes, Mac 1 has the best Tapology pick going, 100%. Seen Kirk and LFA, nothing too impressive. Yeah, like people are talking about how impressive this guy is. I went back and watched the past like 5-6 fights. I'm just not overly impressive. Mac 1's Anaconda choke is incredible. If he gets his arms anywhere near Camelo's neck, it's over. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter that he's a black belt. We've seen black belts submitted before, and yeah, they're both black belts, but Amarkani has a massive grappling advantage, in my opinion, at least. The thing is, Mac 1 has only one win in the UFC over a guy in the promotion. I jumped on a plus 225 at Kirk, which has a ton of value, in my opinion, though I slightly favor Mac 1. Yeah, I thought the line was off at first too, but I think I'd line it more around that minus 300. But that's just me personally. A lot of people are opposite of me here, but I personally think it should be around the minus 300. But if you think there's value at plus 225, yeah, take that shot all day. Lipski's fine. Yeah. Mac 1 minus 190. Yeah, like I said, if it gets like minus 150, I'll probably take a shot there. Finland by submission. I agree. Mr. Finland all in for me. Haven't not heard much about Kirk, but I like Mac 1 here. Yeah, I like Mac 1 as well. Danny Betts in the building. What's up, Danny? How you doing? I saw your TikTok earlier today. Yeah, impressive, man. You got the basketball going on. Danny TikTok, I like it. In DK, who would you replace Kirk with? He's like 6 to 800. I don't really like many people down there. We'll talk about one. But I think there's like some decent underdogs on the slate. But yeah, down there's not much. I guess Claudio Puelles if I was to replace him with somebody. Mac 1 said he built a gym beside his place and practically living down there, really confident on beating Kirk and come back in 2 weeks against Landwehr. That's what I heard as well. Mac 1 by decision, potentially. Mason Jones didn't look good at weigh-ins. He didn't look terrible. Yep, have to listen close interview with Mac 1. Lock. He's not playing anymore. Mac 1 is such a better wrestler. I think he's a much better wrestler and a much better grappler. The striking's close. But yeah, I just don't get the line movement. I get people think the line's off in that, but I just think there's an apparent gap in skill. But that's just me personally. I know a lot of people taking the shot on Kirk. Good luck to you guys. Mac 1 subbing this fool. I think he does as well. All right. So we'll get to the next fight here. We have a fight that, my goodness, Uncle Weezy pointed this out on our Tuesday show on Pub Sports. If you bet this fight, you might as well be calling 1-800 that gambling addiction number, because man, you should not be betting on this fight either way. And I see a lot of people betting this fight. Like I see people parlaying Tom Brees. That's a no matter who he's fighting. He could be fighting Priscilla Cachoeira, and you still do not want to parlay Tom Brees just because he makes mistakes in there. You can't trust him. He has a mentality that, I don't want to say he's a quitter, but sometimes in there it looks like he's giving up, he's quitting. And then you have Antonio Hoya, who very well could be one of the worst fighters in the UFC. This guy is not great. He has like a 32% takedown defense. He has about 2 minutes of cardio, and this is a fight that it's probably the easiest pass on the entire year. I mean, these are two guys you want to look to fade going against each other. And I see people taking, Brees, putting him in parlays, and I also see people taking a shot on the dog Ahoyo. We do see some money coming in on Ahoyo a little bit, but man, I'll pick Brees because I think he's the much better fighter. But would I be shocked if he I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. I think Brees, he should get this fight down to the mat. He has 0 takedowns in the UFC, which I do not like, but he has attempted 7. I think if he attempts any here, he gets them. He's a black belt in BJJ, maybe not the best, grappler in the world, but I do think he has a grappling advantage. The better striking by a decent margin, the better cardio by a decent margin. I get, the fade narrative on Tom Brees. I get people wanting to take a shot on Arroyo. The line probably is off. But I remember people taking the shot on KB Bueller against Tom Brees as well. But like people want to look to fade Tom Brees, and that's completely fine. But I don't know if this is the spot to do so. As far as DraftKings, I don't know what I'm going to do with this fight yet. I think you got to play some just because you take a look at Brees' fights, and as of late, I don't think he's been to decision since like 2016, 2015. It's been a while, so his fights are finishing. You have a gasser in Arroyo. You have I don't want to say a quitter, but you have a Brees who can be, can lose the fight as well inside the distance. So I'll play a little bit on DraftKings, but man, as far as a betting perspective, this is the biggest pass on the card. If you have a bet on this fight, man, good luck to you. Good luck to you. I just don't think it's worth, yelling at the TV. I remember betting. I've bet on Arroyo before. I've bet on Tom Brees before, and I just remember like screaming at the TV, like, "What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? This is horrible. This is a horrible experience. I never want to experience this again." And ultimately, like, this is a pass. Either way, this is a pass. Let's see what we got here. I think I scrapped from Tom and Arroyo out of my bet. Yeah, I would not bet it. If you feel like you can't ever trust Tom Brees fully, even if it's skill-wise you think is a lock, yeah, Tom Brees is never a lock no matter who he faces. Arroyo looked good, though. Said he went back to New Mexico to train in the States. Yeah, he definitely needed to fix some things, especially that cardio. So maybe he did. But even then, like, I don't think he's great. He can fix his cardio all he wants. I still think Brees is better, but I don't know. Tom Brees, no, please. I agree. Brees did get KO the GOAT, KB Bueller, with the jab. Easy max bet spot. If you max bet Tom Brees, you have some balls. I picked Tom Brees. I didn't bet him there, but yeah, it was easy. Like hindsight, easy. Brees might not end up making it to Locked On. Yeah, exactly. There's been times where he has pulled out of fights the day before. KB Bueller. Yeah, I already called the gambling problem hotline, bro. Yeah, if you bet on this fight, you probably should just give it a call. Watching Arroyo versus Win, making my eyes bleed. Yeah, I was in Miami during that fight. I think Danny was with me, and he remembers me just yelling at the TV, like, "What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?" Let's see what we got here. Chat is really moving today. Looking at the last fight of both fighters, not impressive to say the least, especially Arroyo. He really disappointed. Exactly. Jacksonville Zoe in the chat. What's up, Jacksonville Zoe? How you doing? Hopefully ready for the fights. Check out Zoe tomorrow on Pub Sports, going live for the fights. I'm sure he'll be on there as always. Oil's gassing is trash, and he lost a Duran win. Yeah, terrible. Hope everyone in the chat is ready for a great weekend. Yes, sir. Not the best fights, but I think it's should be a good card. If Arroyo hasn't proved his gas tank, like I said, even then, I don't think he's the better fighter. I don't. Betting all my AMC money on Brees. Good luck to you. Arroyo did not pull the trigger last week. He has very low volume. Very, very low volume. I have PTSD from Arroyo fighting Win. I think everybody does. Fade fight on DK. I'm going to have a little bit, but I'm not going crazy on it. This show is all about responsible gambling. Don't bet on this fight. Don't do it. Seek help if you're thinking about doing it. Yeah. Montana De La Rosa, lock of the card. Yeah, I kind of agree. Arroyo's head kicking Tom Brees. I mean, anything can happen in this fight. Brees is a massive hype job. Yeah, somewhat. I think people are kind of, calmed down about him a little bit. Yeah, it was bad. Brees and RoboCop or Jones Latifi for DK. I don't know. It's a close one. I think either are fine. If you are dumb enough to throw spinning kicks at a guy half your size who continues to take you down, you are not smart. Yeah, exactly. That was horrible. Do you bet on basketball? No, unless something really sticks out. Mostly MMA for the most part. Unger Brady, need to know who has the better post-fight dance, Shevchenko or Levitt? Man. I think, it's tough. I'll go Shevchenko. All right. What's up, Anton? How you doing? All right, so we'll get into the next fight. Enough about that one. If you're betting it, good luck. But I just can't do it. So next we have Dusko Todorovic going against Gregory Rodrigues. Interesting fight here. We see a ton of line movement, which is very, very interesting. I was not expecting this because there is a lot of hype on Todorovic. I mean, I think it probably died down a little bit after he got smoked, dropped like five times against Soriano. But still, I think people still really like this guy. I think, people think he has a lot of upside, and he probably does. going against Rodrigues here, coming in on a little bit of short notice, but he did fight a couple weeks ago, got the win. And yeah, I'm not betting aside here. I do think the line's off. I do think it probably should be closing in a little bit because I think someone's going to sleep. I don't know who, and I really don't care. But I do have a bet on the fight doesn't go to decision, and we'll talk about what I have it parlayed with. But yeah, I don't really parlay props unless I really like, a parlay piece. And I think the fight doesn't go to decision is probably a way to go. I was even contemplating betting the under 1.5 as well. Both guys are finishers. Both guys have a ton of power. Both guys have horrible striking defense, and both guys have a questionable chin. Both guys are very hittable, and all that sounds like, yeah, somebody's probably getting knocked out, and somebody's probably getting knocked out early as well. As far as DraftKings, I'm going nearly 100% owned on this fight. I think someone's getting finished. I think the winner scores very well. It's right in that price range where if there is a finish in the first couple rounds, I really don't see it not going on the optimal lineup. I like Rodrigues as an underdog on DraftKings, but with that said, I like Todorovic as a play as well. Splitting my exposure, maybe like a 50-50 situation, maybe a little bit more on Rodrigues because he is the dog, but I think this does score well. So I'll kind of tell you guys the parlay I have. I know people hate parlays that, are on one card and then the other card, but I do have a parlay that is with this card in UFC 263 as well. All right, so I have the fight doesn't go to decision. Todorovic and Rodrigues minus 275 parlayed with Leon Edwards minus 450. Got it at minus 150 and have 1.5 units on it. Really do like Leon Edwards. Already taped half the card next week. I was going to parlay Leon Edwards with Jamal Hill, but after taping the Hill fight, decided to pass there. But I think this is a solid parlay piece. I'd be really shocked if this did go to decision. We can kind of get into the finish stats a little bit, but like I said, the striking defense, the chins, the power, it just all leads to a finish. Todorovic, 90% finish rate, does have one decision win, I do believe. Rodrigues, 88% finish rate. Both guys have been finished in 3 out of the 4 combined losses. So, yeah, I'd be shocked if it went to the distance. So I kind of do like that parlay rather than parlaying like a Jamal Hill next week or something like that, or like an Evloev. I think I'm going to split the cards here. I know people hate that, but I do like that parlay quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. Who do you guys like in the chat? This is a fight that really can go either way. Don't you dare say Levitt. Trust me, I did not. Best underdogs on DK, I think Walt Harris. I think Rodrigues. Possibly Latifi as well. Dusko is starching Hobo Cop. He could. As long as somebody gets finished, I'll be happy. Dusko keeps his hands down. Rodrigues keeps his head on the center line. At least Dusko moves his head. Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. He moves it up in the air a little bit, but yeah. Under 1.5 is good in the Dusko. Yeah, I like under 1.5, but the fight doesn't go to decision as a nice parlay piece. I don't hate it. Got 3.5 units at minus 270 on the fight doesn't go to decision. Both are offensively talented and defensively liable. Go violence, go. Very nice bet. Very nice bet. I was actually debating doing that as well. You have the mentally of the dodo bird when it comes to striking defense. I'm betting violence. Yep. I think violence is the way to go. Like out of all the fights on the card, I think this one is the most likely to end inside the distance, at least according to the odds as well. All 13 MMA Junkie writers picked Todorovic, unanimous. Interesting. Todorovic learned from that last loss, but man, Rodrigues looked great. I don't know if he learned from it. We'll have to see for sure. He does it in all his fights. He's been able to get away with it, but against somebody that can hit hard, I don't know. Derek Lewis, best celebration. Yes, definitely up there. I love the fight doesn't go to decision as well. I agree. If Dusko keeps his hands up, he will starch Gregory rather easily. I think someone's getting starched. I like Dusko, but Robocop is pretty big. Yeah, if you looked at the weigh-ins, Robocop was huge, man. He was huge. I was not expecting that. Robocop 29 looks like he's old enough to have fought. Yeah, he's old. Well, he looks old. I don't know if he's actually 29, but man, yeah. That was I was surprised when I saw he was 29. Quick turnaround, no fight camp, and short notice for a Robocop. Dusko open at minus 240. Now you can get him at minus 130. Value there, Brady. I don't know, man. I'll stick with my violence bet. I don't know. I think it should be 50-50. I think someone's going to sleep, but you made a lot of good points. You probably do got to favor Dusko a little bit, but defensive liabilities of Dusko, I would not play him. I think violence is the way to go. I hope Levitt gets slept so we don't have to see that ever again. Not this fight, but he'll get slept in the near future, hopefully. I remember betting fight doesn't go to decision on Oliveira versus Chandler at minus 450. Yeah, I had the under 2.5 and under 3.5 there. Minus 450 is high, but didn't see either way how this fight goes to decision. Dusko fight is kind of like that. I agree. Sometimes you just got to eat the chalk a little bit. Anton thinks he's 36. I mean, he looks 36. Looks like 38. But yeah, Rodrigues is a little bit like Burns. Yeah, decent comparison there. All right, so we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. We're going to speed it up a little bit here. We're already at an hour, so do want to shout out the sponsor once more, Pub Sports Radio. If you guys can go check out the channel, hit the subscribe. Going live on there every Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and then working on hopefully putting a new show out early in the week in the very near future. Have something I do want to put out. So go check that out. And as well, going live for the fights tomorrow. Live betting, live commentary, all the good stuff. Fun to hang out with the guys, as always. Okay. Baeza Ponzinibbio. This is a quick breakdown here. I don't know. I think that if we see the Ponzinibbio of like 2018, 2017, I think he probably rolls here. It's just, is it the same Ponzinibbio coming off of a big layoff against Levitt? He just did not look great. The speed was not there. The volume was not there. He looked very hesitant. Was it the cage rust? I don't know. I hate writing a fighter off after just one, terrible performance, but it just was not a good look. And, he dealt with a ton of things outside of the cage. I think could definitely play a factor here. I'm picking Baeza. I know a lot of people on Ponzinibbio, and I get it, I guess. Like, yes, if it's the same Ponzinibbio of 3-4 years ago, yeah, he rolls here. He rolls here, but is it the same Ponzinibbio? I'm leaning towards no. The guy's 34 years old. Baeza is like 28, 29. In the prime of his career, getting better and better. We're seeing massive improvements from Baeza fight after fight. I think somebody probably goes to sleep here, and I think Ponzinibbio is probably the one going to sleep. Was tempted in the money line of Baeza. Was kind of waiting to see where it went. If it got to plus money, I was going to pull the trigger, but it looks like more money is coming in on Baeza as of late. So just going to pass here. The picks Baeza on DraftKings, I like both sides, more so on the Baeza side at 8,300. But I think someone does go to sleep here. I think the under 2.5 is not a bad look as well, but I will be taking Baeza for the win. It's just I can't be too confident. I don't know, where Ponzinibbio is at. Is he going to show up? Was it just the cage rust in his last fight? I don't know. So many question marks for me. Ben Baeza, Delizzi, Harris, Tybura under 2.5, Sakai, Jarzina over 2.5, Jones, Patrick. He's not good at the distance. Mac1 Kirk to complete 2 rounds, put 35, 13, 23. Not terrible. I agree with everything, but not something I do personally. But yeah, 35 to win, 1,300, not bad. Man, this fight is such a strong pass. I feel whoever wins is going to look minus 250. Yep, one of those fights. So Lizzie will lose. We'll talk about that soon. Don't buy into the Ponzi scheme. Baeza inside the distance. I don't know how you can be confident either way. Like, if Ponzinibbio shows up and he looks like he did in like 2018, 2017, all that. Yeah, he does win here. It's just, is it the same Ponzi? We just don't know. Baeza all day. Yeah, Danny has a pretty big hammer bet on Baeza there. Was thinking about joining you if it did get to plus money, but I'm just going to sit back and watch it. I'll have my exposure to Baeza on DraftKings. Yep, exactly like him at 8,300. Santiago's health issues were very serious. Even if he's back to 100%, Baeza might just still beat him in a striking match. I put 1.25 units on Baeza money line. I'm feeling confident in Miguel. Yeah, I don't hate it. I think he does win. All right, so we'll get to the next fight here. We have Roman Dolidze going against Lariana Staropoli. So I said, Kirk was, the public dog. Here's public dog number 2. I see everybody on Staropoli. Like, you take a look at, people on Twitter, all that good stuff. You see a ton of love for Staropoli. I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, he's going to have a striking advantage. Yeah, he's going to be much faster, but you just can't ignore, like, the huge, difference in the size. Dolidze is somebody that fought at 205 the majority of his career, even had his MMA debut at heavyweight. And we came down recently to 185 against Trevin Giles. Yeah, he looked horrible. Yes, that fight sucked. But I think Giles is the much better grappler between him and Staropoli. Staropoli coming up a weight class. We saw the weigh-ins. Dolidze does look much, much bigger. It says on paper he's about an inch of height taller than Staropoli. I'd say it was like 2 inches. I say he's a little bit taller than that. But I think the size, the strength is going to be a huge, huge factor in this fight. But with all that said, you can't trust Roman Dolidze. The guy has some of the worst fight IQ imaginable. I mean, we all remember when he asked his coach, should I submit him? Instead of, just, ground and pounding John Alon and getting him out of there, went to decision with John Alon, which, red flag in its own right. And I think he's very, skilled. I think he has a great skill set. It's just the IQ is terrible. And that's why I ultimately will not be placing a bet on Delizzi. But honestly, I do think if he does fight somewhat smart and get this fight down to the mat, I do think he can succeed. Staropoli, his takedown defense is not great at all. I think it's on paper, it's 58%. Was taken down 3 times by the striker in Muslim Salikhov, which, huge red flag. And yes, he's, able to get up, but will he be able to get up from the bigger guy in Roman Dolidze? So I got to go Dolidze. I like him more on DraftKings. As far as a bet, I guess it's a fine play. I see everybody betting Staropoli. Best of luck to you. I know people don't like Dolidze. They think he's a fade of the fight IQ, all that good stuff, and that's fine. But I think the size is going to be the biggest factor here. So give me Dolidze for the win, but more a DraftKings play for me. What time do the fights start tonight, or are they next Friday? The fights are tomorrow. Sup, G? What's up, Jordan? How you doing? I meet Brady in Vegas. His license says DFS on it. I like it. He's only getting love because he's Charles Oliveira's teammate. Hello, he is. Dolidze is way bigger. Yeah, I mean, I know people want to fade Dolidze, the fight IQ, all that good stuff, but we got to kind of look into the matchup. Especially because Roman has horrible top pressure, always going for the heel hooks. Yeah, I don't know. That's not something you want to see him do here. And the gas tank's another big thing. Like, we could see Staropoli really tee off on the guy if he does gas out. I need to follow my own advice and gamble responsibly. I bet 1.5 units on Dolidze money line while drunk. There you go, Uncle Weezy. His fight IQ is horrible, and I showed bad betting IQ by placing bets while you're drunk. I think it hits, man. I think it hits. But yeah, the fight IQ, the gas tank, I can see why people are taking the shot on Staropoli, but the much bigger guy. Roman minus 140, not horrible. Dolidze's stock really dropped after yelling, "Coach, you want me to submit this guy?" Yeah, I'd say so. I remember, betting Dolidze, pretty heavily against John Alon there, and it was a split decision, which I thought he clearly won the fight. But yeah, I was, yelling at the TV quite a bit, honestly. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you hurt him. You're going for heel hooks? Like, what's going on? You're talking to your coaches? Come on. There's some fights on this card where, the fight IQs are horrible, and you can't trust some of these guys. And that's why I really feel good about, just passing. I think sometimes the best bets are just passing, and I feel comfortable passing here. But if I was to bet it probably would be Dolidze. I just don't want to really deal with the fight IQ, the gas tank. I don't want to do all that stuff. Okay, anyway. Co-main event, Tybura versus Harris. Interesting fight and an interesting line. So Uncle Weezy pointed this out in the Discord early in the week, and I have a play in this fight. So I'm picking Tybura to win. I think he has the better skill set. I think he has more ways to win. I think he has the more volume. I think he has, the takedown upside. But with all that said, Walt Harris has that X factor. That X factor is going to be that knockout power. 100% finish rate for Walt Harris. 100% knockout rate for Walt Harris. We've seen Tybura knocked out more than once. Tybura has been knocked out 4 times. The chin is not there. And Harris, man, I mean, he's going to be very live for a finish, at least early. And there was a prop that, man, I thought was so off. And sometimes you're picking this fighter, but you see a line that is so off that you got to take advantage. And I have 2 small plays here. And I kind of like them. Walt Harris wins by round 1 KO, plus 650, half a unit on it. And then Walt Harris wins by round 2 KO, plus 1,200. 0.5 units on it. I mean, that's how he wins, right? That's how Walt Harris wins. He's not going to win a decision. He never has done that. Arlovsky, yeah, but he's never won a decision. Officially never won a decision. And you got to take a look at it and go through his record. I don't think he's won in the 3rd round. I don't think Walt Harris has even won in the 3rd round. So you got to think if Walt Harris does win, it's going to be in the 1st or 2nd round. He's not going to submit Tybura. It's going to be by knockouts. You're giving me plus 650 in the 1st round, which I think is, the most likely. And then you're giving me plus 1,200 in the 2nd round, which, is likely as well against a chinny fighter in Tybura, someone that has a ton of power in Harris. I just think those lines are off. So ultimately, I took those small shots there. Was kind of thinking about the under 2.5, and that's still not terrible. But I think if there's going to be a finish, it's more so on the Walt Harris side. I could be maybe see like a Tybura 3rd round finish, maybe late 3rd round, maybe late 2nd round. I could see a Tybura decision as well. But I think if there's a finish, it's more so on the Harris side. So, Yeah, took a shot on some lines that I thought were off. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But man, if I hit the plus 1200 second round, I'll be rolling. But I think there's a very good chance, or at least a better chance, in the plus 650 indicates, or at least a better chance in the plus 1200 indicates. If Walt Harris wins, those are his two paths to victory there. But ultimately, I will pick Tybura for all the reasons I've mentioned. But yeah, I don't love the minus 170. I think this probably should be a little bit closer because Walt Harris does have that X factor in the power. Walt Harris does have a 100% knockout rate, and Tybura has been knocked out more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. As far as DraftKings, I like Harris a lot on DraftKings as a dog, and I like Tybura as well, grappling upside, takedown upside. But if Tybura does not go those takedowns early, I think Harris has a really good chance of winning the fight by knockout. Let's go, Roman. Good luck to you, Uncle Weezy. If Dolidze loses, cut him right there. Yeah, probably. I mean, it won't be a good look. Dolidze won at 205. Staropoli is coming up for 170. That's a huge size difference. Yep, exactly. For the love. What's up, for the love? I didn't even need alcohol. Weezy, don't feel bad. Tybura showed in his last fight that he's still as hittable as ever in the first round. Yep, he is very hittable. And you do not want to be hittable against Walt Harris. Yeah, everything's points to Dolidze should win. I agree. Staropoli looked bad versus Means. I agree once again. Good breakdown. Brady, appreciate that, JJ. Harris inside 30 seconds. I mean, I hope so. I've got zero confidence in Tybura at minus 185. I agree. You can't be too confident. I got round 3 to start minus 120. I hope not personally, but I think it does have a solid chance of hitting if Walt does not get that early knockout. I think Walt can't win after the first 2 to 3 minutes. He gasses early. He does gas quite a bit as of late. UFC should have given at least one winnable fight to Harris after the personal tragedy. He's not winning this time either. I think this is a winnable fight, at least more winnable than, I don't know, I thought he was really close to knocking out Overeem. The Volkov, which is a stylistic nightmare for Harris there. Uncle Weezy, I'm also on the first and second round KO props at the same odds. You got Harris has top 3 power in the heavyweight division according to the power metric. Yep, Uncle Weezy has the power stats, and Harris is definitely up there. I think Weezy said that only Dawkins and Tom Aspinall have better power stats than Walt Harris, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting there. All right, so we'll get into the main event here, and before we do so, if you guys can leave a like. I'm not sure how many likes we're at, but hopefully we hit 100. A lot of people in here, about over 200. Thank you all for hanging out. I know this card, honestly, his card kind of sucks, but we have some fights. We have an opportunity to make some money. I'm feeling pretty good about the bets that I do have. As long as Mason Jones does get it done, should be a pretty solid night. Montana De La Rosa, pretty heavy on her as well, so need those two for sure. But yeah, feeling pretty good about the spots. I feel like I really picked my spots this week. I think I passed on a lot of fights that probably should be passed on. And yeah, ready to go, ready to win some money, hopefully ready to do well on DraftKings as well. Do want to point out that I do have a live stream tomorrow, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 1 hour prior to when the prelims start. Just going to be kind of like this, talking with you guys, talking some final thoughts, talking some, odds, seeing where the odds are going. Maybe I do add a bet or two. And then also my betting breakdown video will be out early tomorrow. I'm going to be recording that sometime when I get off here as well. But yeah, I have a ton of stuff to do tonight. I still got to finish up some articles, get those out there on Patreon. I have to do the betting breakdown video. So lots of stuff going on for me tonight. What's up, Jack? Good stuff, Brady. Take it easy, you too, as well, Jack. Harris has been taken down in 65 UFC fights, and he lost all of them. A stat everyone needs to know. He's been taken down in all his UFC fights. Let's go for 125. Let's do it. Yeah, 5. Yep, there you go. It's 65. I knew you were not 65, but 5. Yep. Crappy card, but lots of dog hunting. Yeah, lots of dogs. All right, so main event. Yeah, interesting. People really hate Augusto Sakai. I don't know what it is. Like, after taping the fight and all that, I really did think that Sakai would be a favorite, and then I look at the odds, and he's not a favorite. And then you just take a look at Twitter, and people throughout the week, and people really hate this guy. Like, stylistically, this seems like a really good matchup for Sakai as long as he does not get knocked out, which could he get knocked out? Sure, I guess it's heavyweight, but Sakai has a really good chin. He's only been finished one time by Overeem in a fight that he gassed out in. Rosenstruck, I don't know. I was really high on this guy. When he fought, Andrei Arlovsky, when he fought Alan Crowder. And a lot of people really didn't know about this guy. I remember a lot of people taking Arlovsky against him. I remember even people taking Crowder against him. And I was a Rosenstruck truther, but I think he's getting a little bit overrated here. It's just his skill set that I don't like. Yes, the guy has a ton of power. It's just the low volume that I hate. And Sakai is going to have much more volume by a really significant margin. We can get into the stats and all that, but you can just see it. Like, Rosenstruck does not throw. When he does, yes, he hits very hard, but is he going to knock out Sakai? Maybe. Maybe it's possible. But as far as a bet, I'm passing straight on the straight bets here. I don't want to bet Rosenstruck, especially as a favorite. If I was to bet this fight, either side, I'd probably bet Sakai. I just think there's better ways of approaching this. So I do actually have 2 bets on this fight. Some lines that really stuck out to me, both on the FanDuel Sportsbook. This was a line that I bet early in the week, and it got smacked. Over 1.5 rounds. I'm sure everybody in the chat is on this already. I'm sure they are. This is a very popular bet, and for a very good reason. I do think this gets extended. I got it at minus 142. I have 1.5 units on it. Probably should have went 2-unit play there, but yeah, over 1.5 rounds, minus 142. And then I also saw, some odds that I thought were off as well. It's going to be the Rosenstruck Sakai. The fight ends in a KO at minus 190. I mean, that's interesting. A 5-round fight. Heavyweight fight. Both guys hit very hard, especially Rosenstruck. And, both guys have questionable gas tanks, especially Sakai. You're telling me they can't get a knockout in 5 rounds? I don't know. I mean, I could see it going to decision, I guess. If it does, Sakai probably wins that decision, which is plus 380. But I think there's a good opportunity that there's a finish, whether it's in the 3rd round, the 4th round, maybe even the 5th round. But yeah, I really do like the minus 190 fight ends by KO, TKO. And I have 2 units on that as well. So if everything plays out correctly, or at least I hope there's a 3rd round finish, a 4th round finish, or a 5th round finish, then I'll hit my over 1.5, and then I'll also hit the fight ends in a KO. Both guys have never been submitted. Both guys have never won by submission, so I don't think we have to worry about that. But we do have to worry about it being a very low output striking affair, which Rosenstruck, you hear the interviews, he says he's going to be more aggressive. I hope he is. Sakai, very good chin. Sakai, not the best gas tank. But yeah, you take a look at the weigh-ins today as well. Like, Sakai's much, much bigger. So I do have those 2 plays. Best case scenario, both hit. Best case scenario, there's either a late finish in the 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, or 5th round. Worst case scenario, I lose one of those bets. Worst case scenario, there's a 1st round knockout. Worst case scenario, Sakai wins by decision. But I think there's good potential both those hit, which would be sweet. But I'll pick Sakai. As far as DraftKings, probably honestly not playing much Sakai, if any at all, on DraftKings. Rosenstruck, I'll have a little bit for the 1st round knockout upside, but even then, I'm not going to go crazy on it. I think this is a fight where I know people like playing the main event. It's going to be popular, but I don't think you have to play it on DraftKings. But I'll take Sakai. But yeah, I mean, just looking at what people have been saying and stuff. I'll pull up that comment in a little bit, Jimmy. That's hilarious. But yeah, give me Sakai. But I really do think there's better ways to approach it. But yeah, like I said, I think everybody has a bet on the over 1.5. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? How you doing? Ready to go. Appreciate that, Johnny. Brady, reason why you were the first I've ever became a Patreon for. Appreciate that a ton, man. I'm glad seeing you in the Discord and stuff. Very active. I like when people are active. Keep out. What's up, brother? What's up? Keep out. His belly looks weird a little bit. What do you guys think of Floyd at minus 1,000? Yeah, I saw, I think Boston Nick pointed out, I think Floyd was like minus 750. I forget which book it was, but yeah, minus 750. I think it's a crazy close line. Should be as big as a favorite as anything ever in sports betting. Don't really want to talk about it, but yeah, I kind of agree there. People overhype Rosenstruck. Yeah, I think so as well, and I'm a Rosenstruck truther. Seeking in a like while at work. Sneaking in a like while at work. Let's get it. Appreciate that, Big Hotel. KO is Rosenstruck's only way to win. Just not active enough and too much of a counter striker. The jab needs to be more active. I 100% agree. Maybe he'll make some changes after getting embarrassed in his last fight. He said he will, but we'll see. I had a 10-man parlay and Tanner Boser losing to Arlovsky cost me 10K. Never will I bet on Boser. Yeah, I thought Boser won that fight as well. He outlanded Arlovsky 2-1. I had over 1.5, over 2.5, over 3.5. Too much volume. I like it. Sakai will KO him. I think he can as well. I think it will be later in the fight, like round 3. Do you think Sakai can make optimal lineup? I don't know. He's not going to more than likely take down Rosenstruck. Maybe he does. I think he can if he wants to. I don't know. I'm leaning towards no. Arlovsky beat Sakai. Remember that fight? Sakai got the height. Big time. I hear round 3 starts minus 130 for bet your lunch money. Yeah, I like that quite a bit, actually. I don't know if Sakai can KO Rosenstruck. He's got a decent chin. I think it's going to be more of like a volume thing. I think the volume will really add up type of thing. Sakai, he has some solid power. Not as much power as Rosenstruck, but I think he has a lot of volume, and I do like that. I think he has a lot of pressure as well. Sakai doesn't look like someone who can go all 5 rounds. Rosenstruck, yeah, exactly. Rosenstruck can get him later. First of all, yeah, Jimmy, thank you for the donation. Got an F, Mary, and Kill here. Modafferi, Jandaroba, Jordan Levitt. I'll start off by killing Levitt there. Mary Roxanne, and then I guess I'm gonna have to F Jandaroba there. But yeah, do appreciate the donation quite a bit, man. Jamie with the dono. Yep, interesting comment there, nonetheless. But I do appreciate the dono. Rosenstruck 5th in my power metric. Sakai 16th, both hit hard. Yep. Agree. UFC stats 6'3", Rosenstruck 6'4", real life. Sakai 6'3", Rosenstruck 6'1". Yeah, if that, I think it'd be even a bigger of a margin there. Biggie Boy 1st round murder. I hope not. Rosie poor man's Derek Lewis. I'd say so. Maybe a little bit more volume than Lewis. Sakai trying too hard at the stare downs. Yeah, a little bit. Sprinkle 4-5. I'm not going to mess around with it. I already have too much invested, but yeah, maybe. Great show. Hit the like, boys. Appreciate that. Sakai's want to be bully. I can see it. Yeah, it was pretty easy for me. Goodness. Interesting, Jimmy. Interesting. Definitely Mary Roxanne. She's low-key very cute. I think she has a great personality, Mary I think everybody agreed with the Mary Roxy. Anyway, my goodness. What a way to end the stream. But yeah, if you guys do want extra content, had a lot of people sign up this month. Really does help me out quite a bit. I did bring on Uncle Weezy. Shout out to Uncle Weezy. He does, amazing things with the advanced stats. Also has the matchup template, which I really like as well. Put that on there. And then also the optimizer as well, which has, been working wonders. And just $10 a month. I try to, make it as cheap as possible, provide as much value as possible, trying to really change the game of, content out there. Just, changing the prices and stuff and just making it as cheap and affordable for people out there. I think that you should be able to, get content and then be able to, still, bet your money on betting and put it into DraftKings and stuff. And just trying to change the game. And if you guys do sign up, it really does help out quite a bit. It allows me to keep the prices cheap if I do get a lot of people to sign up, and I have. So thank you guys for that. I'm going to head out 1 hour, 22 minutes. Not terrible. I felt like we got off topic a little bit. Shout out to Jimmy. My goodness. But yeah, tune into the live stream tomorrow, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Betting breakdown out tomorrow as well. Thank you all so much for hanging out. It's not the best card in the world, but it should be fun. Should be a good way to make money. So I'll go over my bets real quick. De La Rosa, minus 200, 2 units on it. Jones, minus 245, 3.5 units on it. Those are my big plays. I need those to hit, especially Mason Jones. Useless Zalal taking the dog shot, plus 188, 1 unit on it. Rosenstruck Sakai over 1.5 rounds, minus 142, 1.5 units. Rosenstruck Sakai fight ends in KO, minus 192 units. I have the Walt Harris round 1 KO, plus 650, half a unit. Walt Harris round 2 KO, plus 1,200, half a unit. Hoping that one hits. Trinaldo Salikhov fight goes to decision, plus 142, 1 unit. And then I have the parlay with this card and the next card. Leon Edwards parlayed with Dusko Todorovic. Rodrigues fight doesn't go to decision, minus 150, 1.5 units. I'm ready. I'm feeling good. Good luck, everybody. And let's make some money. Talk to you guys soon. Let's get it.